What up, core fam? Simulation Talk 263 is on the way. Thank you, Ebony. Appreciate you. Chris today found out that I think the Twitch thing is a Twitch thing. It's a glitch on Twitch. It's some kind of a glitch on Twitch, which is always fun to say. I should probably make this thing on. There you go. What's up, Ebony? Good to see you. Jessica. Jay, Sofa King. Terry, good to see you, brother. Okay, let me start the stage on. Yeah, Ebony, I know. Chris told me, by the way. I just saw a message. Let's start a stage. Start a stage. Simulation Talk 263. Whoa, what? Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Stage is on. I have to start it right away because without starting it right away, then it just throws me out all the time. It's stupid. I mean, starting it without setting it up. So hopefully, what's up, West D Batman? Anybody who wants to raise their hand and chat, please talk. Oh, that's just requests. That's chats. Cool. So welcome to Simulation Talk 263. Anybody who has a good topic to bring up, please feel free to do so. It'll be good. Sapling Bojin. Nami Cat. What are they feeding you? What's up, Royal? Maribella. Charlie's in the house. Tony Wag. Vog. Ali. Welcome everybody on TikTok. Today it's a bit late, I know. It was a full day. A lot of fun things, so sometimes you gotta do these lives a little later, and that's okay. How are everybody doing tonight? What's up, Colby Cat? Good to see you. What happened? Why are you laughing? My cat's on? Is that what it is? I hope it is. Okay. Slowly, while people are trickling in, just remind you that if you want to follow us on Twitch, it'll be LaserX83. That will be our Twitch. Come join. Come give us some love. And actually, you know what? I'll do this in real time right now. Email address. We'll use Dango Pro X. Category. Oh. Is it affiliate? Hold on. I never know, man. I never know. Yeah, we had like 11 viewers. This better be. Now it's 1. What? It's absurd. Absurdity. I'm telling you. Yes, affiliate. Apparently, it's like a known thing that happens to them. There you go. Oh, they already know about this. By not updating immediately after the end of podcasting, in some cases, different sections will update in different times. Blah 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 blah. But I mean, no. No, I need to submit a ticket. Subject. It is path affiliate. There you go. What? Minimum of 3 average. Don't update. Let's see. Minimum of 3 average. Don't doesn't update. There you go. My path to affiliate doesn't update because for some reason it shows way less people on average participating, even though it shows that it's way more than 3 a day. Okay. Date of birth. What is that got to do with anything? All right, we'll give him that. I know I was not born in 2025. Why is that even an option? Isn't it funny that that's an option? Platform OS wish. What? Website Chrome. Yeah, I think Chrome. There you go. Okay, let's give him that. Let's give him that. If we're already doing it, let's give him that. Whoop. We'll do this. And then we'll do this. Sorry, I'm doing this on your guys' expense, but you know, if I'm not gonna do it now, I'm not gonna do it ever. So hopefully you guys are not gonna be too mad at me. But I'm almost done. Upload the file. Beautiful. Okay. Beautiful. I am not a robot. Submit case. All right. So we submitted a case. Don't have an email associated with Twitch account. Twitch account. Okay. Jesus, people. Say, okay. Wow, so many things. So many things, man. What? Ay, 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 ay. What are you gonna do, man? Beautiful. Okay, I think it's done. I think hopefully this is done. Okay. I'm done with this. How are you guys doing? Evil Icon, how you doing? This was dead air, right? Couldn't find the molecule. Well, if you can't find it, that's usually, there might be a sign, by the way. I know it sounds lame, but it's true. Boom. Let's see what we got here today. Oh, good morning. No, we can't. Let's see if we have some people here on the stage. No one on the stage. All right. No one wants to come on. Boo. Jessica, feel free to come on if you want. You always have good topics to bring. You read a third of that sentence. Wait, which one? Which sentence? Yeah, I know. Not sure where it could have gone. What else is in the sentence? I might explain some of the epic zoomies in my cat. Yeah, that would explain the cat zoomies. Doing great. Thanks. What's the name of that game again? Oh yeah, I can't wait. So tomorrow we're supposed to be playing, right, Ebony? Oh no. We said that we're supposed to be doing it first, but tomorrow we can't because Chris is going to be with you, and it's going to be in the wrong time. So that's very exciting, by the way. I'm very excited about this. Let me change the light. I feel like it's the wrong color. Whoa, that's way too much. Maybe this? Yeah, I guess this kind of fits more. Enshrouded, baby. Almost been. Okay. That's true. It is pretty late right now. So let's see what we can get in the time that we have together. Maybe we'll just do like a really short one today. That is also okay, unless some fun question comes up. Welcome everybody on TikTok. Welcome. Wow, this TikTok is. What about hugs from me? Jessica? What? Just because I have a rugged exterior doesn't means I don't need love? We play on PC though. Wait, does it matter if I play a PC or Mac? Will that create a problem? I don't want it to create a problem. Ui, Junos. She is having an aha moment. Oh, just Canada? Sorry, just on Monday? Okay, I thought for some reason I thought it was tomorrow. I don't know why. Oh no, he did say the 11th, right? Or is just the 10th? But that's not going to be a Monday. Anyways, I'm probably confusing a bunch of things. What's up, Ken? Good to see you. $14th. For some reason, I remember the. Oh yeah, no, he did say the 14th. It's the same date that. Sorry, my brain is all over the place today. Totally my fault. Totally my fault. How do I remove this? Jesus. Jesus. What's up, Mariana? Phil, William. Okay, let's see if there's any topics we can dive into. That'll be fun to find out. Might be. I think I got people used to the live being a lot earlier, and now the live is way too late. But I mean, I prefer to do it than not to do it, so it's okay. But so far, we've been meandering without too much substance. I'm aware of that. Anyone here met the aliens yet? Which ones, Ken? Cadet nucleus and putamen. What? What? What does that mean? What are these words mean, Limbo? I'm googling it. Oh, dude, I am so okay. That's really funny. I thought you were talking about like cults and things like this. My brain categorizes it as a completely different thing, and it's like a part of the brain. I'm like, okay, this means I definitely need sleep soon. This is really funny. That is really funny. That is hilarious. Had three of them scanning me or something. When did that happen? What's up, John and Jesse? Evil Icon, good to see you. I think I said hello already. Okay. I honestly came ill prepared in terms of I didn't really have any subjects or anything on my mind. Today was a very rushed day and things were just kind of happening one after another. I did a fun podcast today. But other than that, it was a pretty just like nonstop one thing after another, and I didn't really have time to like really catch my breath. So I didn't really have a lot of time to put into like thought of what we might be talking about today. I was kind of hoping that we're just gonna have some people to come on and chat, but I guess we're gonna have to wing it. Let's see what we can get into. Recently, I've been talking about so many things on podcasts. Also, my hair is so crazy right now that I'm kind of subject out. Like every single subject that I speak about on podcast, it's kind of out of my system. So when I do a lot of them at once, I need stimulation to start approaching a topic. I can spell. Wait, what? Oh, I just marked it. Let's see what they will say for us. That is a weird one. Exactly. Discord was a troll random inspiration. It's good because it stimulates the conversation. Perfect. Nico is going to come on and ask a question. I will give you a minute. You coming to Discord or you staying on TikTok? I might just hang up on Discord just because it's like there's no need for it. For the next member stream, what are we discussing? Talk a lot about Terrence McKenna, but we haven't had a McKenna night. Ooh, deep dive and discussion would be fun. Yes, would be a lot of fun. Thank you for that, Ebony. Oh, I'm excited about this. Remind me who Terrence McKenna was, though. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm definitely gonna prepare some of my favorite Terrence rants, and then we can dive into them. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh yeah, he has amazing insights. Terrence is the best, truly. So great idea. I'm actually gonna put it on there right now so we don't forget. Live topics for Ebony. I am very excited to talk about Terrence in the next members live. This is going to be a fun one. It's probably going to be like a 4-hour one for sure. We got to give Terrence his due. Oh yeah. Let us assume 3 hits. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Danny?
How you doing, brother? Hold on, I'll turn you up because people can't hear you. Go ahead.
So I had a thought this morning, but then ChatGPT told me not to talk to you about it specifically.
That was amazing. I was like, I even shared it with Aaron. He's like, oh no, I shared it with Aaron, and then I showed Kelsey, and she was like, "What is he telling ChatGPT?"
It was hilarious because you were like, "This is more of a reflection of you rather than ChatGPT."
Yeah, like what does it mean about you, man? He's like, dude, don't talk about this shit to anyone. It's like, you're bananas. Like, let me. I can. ChatGPT is saying I quite literally heard it all, but this shit.
Let's keep this between
Yeah, let's just keep it between us. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is an achievement.
Okay, so I'm gonna disobey ChatGPT right now. So
Not every day, speak. Not every day. Almost every day. But yeah, almost every day. Continue, brother.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this from. So I'm thinking about this framework of simulation 1.0 versus simulation 2.0. And so I was thinking, I was going back and kind of doing a little bit of Googling, and it seems like the Matrix was inspired by this book called Simulacra and Simulation. Have you looked into that book?
No, you mean like the modern idea of the Matrix?
Yeah, the movie, The Matrix.
Got it.
And, yeah. So
some people say it's because it's like they say The Ghost in the Machine was kind of like the early rendition.
Yes, that as well. Yes, I saw that as well. So it seems like I thought simulation theory was born out of the Turing test, but apparently it wasn't. Apparently it kind of came out of sci-fi and then was kind of like in the pop culture scene. But apparently Bostrom's paper in 2003 is like the first like formal kind of like paper of philosophy and logic around a simulation theory. Right?
Okay.
And he kind of presents like three arguments, right? One of them is either, God, what is it? Do you know it well? I can kind of fumble through it. But
what, the paper?
Yeah, his argument.
Yeah, of course. So the argument goes that all you have to assume to know that if you Velociraptor, if you don't mind muting for a second, until we run it, and then welcome to the chat, of course. Basically, it's three main points. One is that we know that simulating things is possible. That's one, because we're doing it. We know that technology always is evolving. That's two. And it doesn't matter the pace, by the way. Sometimes people make a lot of put a lot of importance in Moore's law, but Moore's law doesn't matter at all, because it can be in a million years from now. It makes no difference. And the third one is just, what are the chances that we're the first ones to do it, which is always, of course, close to zero because of the principle of mediocrity. So those are the three. Yeah.
And I've heard many arguments that kind of build on this. Like, I think Elon has said, like, well, if you look at the progression of video games,
that is Bostrom's argument. He's using Bostrom's argument. Yeah,
exactly, right. Then you look at video games, and in theory, and it's getting so good every year that in theory there should be some asymptote that mimics reality, right? So that totally makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was kind of classifying like okay, you have Thomas Campbell, who kind of falls in this kind of simulation 1.0 as well, because he does include like a theory of consciousness together with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of this like hand wavy physics argument. It's not like a real kind of theory, simulation theory.
It doesn't explain anything. It just kind of says things. Yeah.
So then I was thinking, okay, so there's a simulation 1.0, which is like, okay, theoretically, what if we live in a simulation?
Mm-hmm.
And then there is simulation 2.0, which I think was born in 2020 when Wolfram came out and said, okay, this is how, if we do live in a simulation, this is how it would work, right? And he gives a framework for just unifying physics. And although it's not proven yet, he's made a lot of progress, and I think he's one of the most promising theories out there. And then I kind of thought I kind of thought of like core and where core lands, and I kind of thought, okay, well, it seems like it's kind of leveraging aspects of simulation 1.0 and simulation 2.0. And I'm even thinking it might even be like this simulation 3.0, which is, and I guess like Terrence McKenna was the first person to really say the spirit molecule space is actually, you're accessing real higher dimensions, right? And so core seems like it's like a testable kind of like simulation theory, where you take, the observer from Wolfram's model and you change the computational boundedness of that observer, and you observe the world, right, through some underlying kind of like underlying connection that we all have, right, which in this case is this phenomenon, right? So I'm kind of thinking of simulation theory in that respect, but I'm kind of curious. I don't know if it's like a dumb exercise to kind of do, but I'm kind of trying to compartmentalize like the different eras of it. And I even think there's like a need for like a formal like paper that kind of summarizes all of this almost, or like organizes it.
Speaking, like it created the formula in my head. Like as you talked, I just saw a chalkboard and I saw more and more fucking variables and exponential. And I saw all these things as you were talking. Yeah, that's a formula, dude. Like, exactly what you said is a complete formula. I don't know how to get into paper because it's in my head, but maybe I'll work with my ChatGPT agent and I'll give it back to you. Like, I'll send it to you in a DM. What you said, you were literally speaking a formula.
Okay, so just so I understand, what is the different levels? The first one is just the how specific it becomes. So the first one is just the idea that simulation is possible because computation is possible. The second one is kind of.
I guess first, it's like it first started off as a theoretical argument, like what if we live in a simulation, and then I feel like simulation 2.0 is this question of, well, if we do, this is how it happens, and I think simulation 3.0 is this is a experimental framework for testing the simulation.
Yeah, it all of a sudden becomes testable. You're right. And then maybe 4 is the formulation of ways that you can interact with it through the technicalities of it. Yeah, I would say that would be the. That's a good. I mean, I guess that's a good build-up. I think I'm thinking about it more along the lines of I'm trying to create less categories, not more. I see the value actually in maybe outlining it this way, because it kind of gives you a map of where we stand and why progress is made. So I actually think that's a great idea. I just mean that for me in my own head, more categories actually confuse me. I think it's just like kind of seeing it as what it is, just kind of holistically absorbing the whole thing, I think helps me thinking about it. I think where we are now is that we have to, substantiate some action that can be taken. Some people recently, and this is now kind of like becoming more and more in my awareness, that a lot of people kind of like making these claims that the beings gave them some kind of an information or technology or things like this. And people are very adamant about it. Now, the obvious thing is, where's the technology, right? If they gave it to you, then where is it? And I can only surmise from my point of view is that, because my impression is that they can't do that. They don't do that. They don't give you information. It's just not how it works. I'm open to being wrong about that, but I'm like, it was like a strong boundary that I saw. Like, they don't do that. So you kind of have to like figure it out. And again, it's exemplified by the fact that where's the technology, right? I'm saying it because the more we advance into the space, it seems that more and more people interact with these kinds of interactions with them, where because as you know, for a long period, like a year and a half, I was kind of going in there every single day, all the time. And in that period, it was very often that they would do this dance for me where they're like, we're about to give you this big reveal. It's about to happen. And you're like, oh my God, what's going on? They're like, there's a crescendo. They're like building this thing up for you. And they're like, you're about to be the carrier of the most important information of all time. Here it is. And then nothing happens. Or they show you something and it's like a nonsensical something. Like it just doesn't make any sense. So then I realized that's kind of like a pattern. Like it happens in there. So I can't stop but feeling that even the people that, like a lot of people making these claims, what happens is they experience that, which is like kind of like this build up. And when after enough letdowns, either they kind of go, oh, I think I'm supposed to understand something. And then they kind of run with this idea that they're supposed to be carrying some kind of information, even though they have no idea what it is, but they're just kind of like saying it because that's what they were told. And then the other thing that might happen is that they were given something and they're like, I'll figure it out. But in the meanwhile, I'll be talking about how I was told that I'm supposed to be doing this thing. So I was experiencing this for years, but I was like, unless you show me something I can show other people, I'm never going to talk about it until there's something functional there. So I'm always very conservative. Why are you laughing?
Because I used to say to my wife, come back from one of those trips, and I go, babe, we're going to be fucking millionaires. And she'd be like, okay, what do you got? And I'd be like, yeah, okay. I go, babe, I did it again. She's like, oh God.
Yeah. I stopped believing them basically. So and I stopped listening to them, and that's when I figured it out. So like I stopped listening to them, and then some hints appeared, but I don't know if it came from them or for somebody else. I don't know, but like it didn't come in the molecule space actually. But what the what?
Sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
Have you seen the latest talk between Michael Levin and Andres Gomez?
No, I started watching it. I didn't have time to watch the whole thing, but I definitely will.
Holy fuck, it's a good one.
Okay, I'm excited.
It nails it.
I'm excited.
It nailed it, and check it as soon as you can.
Yeah, it's prepped on the thing for sure, 100%. I'll watch it tomorrow, 100%. It's a good thing that you're telling me. There was just to the point that you made. Terrence McKenna in one of his talks was talking about how one time he had one of these moments, and he was sitting in front of people, and he had this kind of like build up, and I'm so familiar with it. And he was like, and Terrence is like so good at like the oratory, the build up that he created verbally just literally mesmerized people. So everybody were like on the edge of their seat because he's like, it's coming, and like he's like wait, because he was like, I'm about to give you like a crazy revelation, like this guy, I'm just gonna channel it right now, and then he's like, and what came out was a song is a song. Amazing. It's great.
One of the things they talk about in that discussion that Nico might appreciate is Michael Levin goes into the part about how just in a six lines of bubble code to like list something, they know that there's so much more going on in those 6 lines of code than what it does.
Say it again.
So in a simple 6 lines of bubble code to like list something.
What is bubble code? Sorry, I don't know what that is.
It's just like a simple listing, 6 lines of code to make a list.
Okay.
Right? In computer code programming.
Okay.
6 lines. Those 6 lines of code will produce a list, but they do know for a fact that there's all kinds of other stuff that's being computed in the background.
Okay.
Just in 6 lines of code. And it's fascinating because what it's doing and where it's pulling all that information from could be this what they're calling like the platonic solids realm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So just like even though you look at simple line of code and it's running a simple list function, it's also doing a lot of other stuff they now know. Besides what's being, what you would think it's computing. I think that's fascinating. Right then, get into that stuff.
Dan, can you make me the maximized viewpoint? I want to show you this fucking thing that just while we were talking showed up.
What is this?
Make me big screen.
I don't know how to do that. Do you know how to do that?
It's so big. Like click on my image and then you'll see like a square. Click on the square.
Square, expand. There you go. Whoa.
What the fuck is that?
That's wild.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. That thing is so crazy.
It looks like just like a seasonal bug. He looks friendly.
It's about 3 inches long.
Wow. I mean, don't kill him. Take him out somewhere.
No, I don't kill anything.
Yeah.
But thank you for that.
Of course. I didn't know I can do this either, so that's cool.
You guys, and it just came out. I think maybe your conversation was so good.
Well, they are insectoids, baby. So it's a beetle. There you go. What's up, Jules? How are you, brother? Code and see. What's up, Kasoon? Yoni's in the house. Oh, that there's a
They're thinking about it, and what they're talking about in that discussion too is how this information that's out there forms minds of its own. So,
wait, are we talking about LLMs? What are they talking about?
No, they're talking about beyond that. So they're talking about. Oh God, I gotta try to be creative real quick. It beyond what six lines of simple code to make a list.
Okay.
It's computing that for you, but they also know it is doing other computations of its own on top of that.
No, I hear you. I'm asking what environment are they talking about? Just like
It's just in the environment of information. Like
got it.
We live in a world of information.
Okay, well, I'm excited about this.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, and they're talking about how these this realm of information. I don't know. You'll wait till you see it, but it could explain a lot about what we're seeing in the code, the laser code.
It might be, yeah. Well, I'm excited to, yeah. Yeah, it looks very, very fun. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow, and actually, when we're talking on Sunday, I definitely want to do the Terrence McKenna thing. Another thing that I wanted to do is to potentially have the George Hotz, Eliezer Yudkowsky debate about AI, but definitely not this Sunday. So I really want to do Terrence McKenna, but maybe we'll do this one. We'll see. We'll see what people want to do more. Terrence McKenna is definitely something that I favor, and it's going to be super inspirational and amazing. But maybe we'll dive into this one first because it's like fresh on the money, you know. Then volume muted. What volume muted? On members? That's weird. Well, okay. So I'm glad you brought it to my attention in this way because it was already prepped, but I didn't know.
I would put it at the top of your list.
Okay, it is on top of my list now. Thank you.
Number one for sure. Amazing.
All right, Nico. So yeah, actually, Nico, unfortunately, yeah. So yeah, this is something I definitely wanted to talk about. The fact that where we stand in our development would need a framework, and I actually thinking about it in terms of levels of the simulation, ideation, I guess that would be that's a really good way of thinking about it. I appreciate that. Culture is not your friend. That's true. That is actually the first video clip first clip I've ever seen of Terrence was the clip called "Culture is Not Your Friend," which is what you're referring to. That's a very interesting one. Okay, so I'm gonna first of all close the stage. Thank you. Close the stage on Discord because nobody's there. There you go, in stage. Let me also say. 1 second. Awesome. Okay, so how have you been, by the way, Casey?
Really good. Busy because the art show started. How about you?
Doing great. Preparing, and yeah, we're super excited about everything. Things are moving really nicely. Movies treading along, and we're working on some fun ideas for the experimentation. So yeah, very excited. Awesome. What art show started? Yeah, your art show?
Yeah, the Sawdust Festival in Laguna Beach. It's 60 straight days. So
wait, say it again. Say it again.
It's 60 days in a row.
Whoa.
Yeah.
In Laguna?
Yep.
Dude, I love Laguna.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, what a lovely place.
How's the movie looking?
Looking good. I mean,
really?
Aaron is, yeah. It's, yeah. So I'm very excited about that. Have I heard of Robert Monroe? Yeah, of course. Of course. Awesome, Nico. Yeah, so I think you really touched on an interesting point. One of the points that a few people told me about before, which I should really pay attention to, which is that language matters a lot. And creating a language around this thing will be key, I think. So I think you're bringing up an important point, which is that people will start treating these things more tangibly the second there's words attached to it. So like a lot of people already kind of know core, right? This kind of stuff. So now simulation 1, simulation 2, simulation 3 might be a really good framework. So I appreciate that. Another way of maybe approaching it is the different levels of interaction with it, which might connect to the simulation 1, simulation 2, simulation 3. But I honestly think, and I guess we can talk about simulation 0 if we're really talking about it philosophically, because I do think that ultimately the first idea of this is that the world isn't what it looks like. I think that's simulation 0, which is just this general diffused idea that the world is Maya. The world is an illusion of some sort, which of course is not new. The allegory of the cave, the Mayans believe that. I'm sure it's probably as old as the human thought. So then simulation 1 would be the modern entry point of computation and how simulation can potentially be brought about through computation. Then simulation 2 is Bostrom's paper, Wolfram's paper, which is like the technicalities of how this can actually unfold. And then simulation 3 would be things like core, which you start engaging with actual evidence of it. And then maybe simulation 4 is when you start interacting with it through the evidence. I think that's a really good framework, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what Michael Evans starts doing. He doesn't have the licensing to use the molecule yet in his studies, but I could see that being the next step to proving some of this stuff.
Michael Levin, to use the molecule in his studies?
No, he doesn't have the licensing for it yet. But
no, but were they talking about it?
Yeah, well, they're talking about because Andres was on there.
Yeah.
Too. So they're discussing, and Michael was expressing that this is amazing being able to talk about these things we're talking about right now, which was code, some sort of code containing information out there that has a mind of its own that's operating amongst this consciousness. And so I just can't wait till you see it.
Man, I'm so excited about it. Okay, yeah, and I love Andres talks. They're so profound and deep and lovely.
Oh, him and Levin talking.
Oh yeah, man, this is like the G's. Conversation with him and Yoshua Bach was so far one of my favorites, actually.
It's the closest thing I've seen yet to like. Okay, we're close. We're really close, and you'll see. I can't wait to talk to you after you've seen it.
Yeah, and Chris is saying maybe hierarchy isn't the best framework. I mean, for ideation, we're not talking about like anything set in stone. It's just kind of like to illustrate to people like where these things stand. People do find these categories useful. I'm personally not big on too many categories, but people love categories. It's their favorite thing. Let me see what else we got. We build the simulation. We are in it. No, we definitely didn't build this one. Holographic, yes. But we're not talking about the structure of the simulation. We're talking about our understanding of it. That's what the hierarchy that is being proposed. I was just thinking, exactly. Keep things organized. Benevolent Sky, how are you? She's saying, I think there is a possibility that higher ups already know and want to keep us in the dark. From what I know, nobody knows this. And this is exactly my point. 99% of the people talking about all this stuff with UAPs and all that, my position is that they don't know the first thing they're talking about. They're just in the business of doing business. And this thing sells. But from my understanding, nobody knows this. I mean, nobody knows this in the way that, like, we know things. They maybe postulate, but they don't know. Yeah, DARPA definitely doesn't know. What's up, Jacob? Tried the laser thing. Not sure it worked for me this last time. I'm using a vape pen for it though. Yeah, vape pen is the best way. So this clip in my channel, people say it's very useful for them. It's a troubleshooting video, so you should try this. Woo! Hold on. Man, oh man. Here. Shareable link. G. There it is. Try this video. This is the this video is walkthrough. Yeah, this video that I just shared is basically a troubleshooting video. Try that one. The points in the game are karma. Yep. What if makers are us though? Just temporarily different and different level. No, they're definitely not us. Like I can tell you this with absolute certainty. They're definitely not us. They are insectoids. And it's a little disconcerting, but they are not us. They're nothing like us. That part is very clear. This is not us from the future. It's not us. And no, not our higher self either. People, I did have this one case. You know how sometimes you dream of the perfect scenario, and it was like one of these like perfect scenarios. I did have someone kind of like very like, but how do you know? And then that person encountered the insectoids, and he said, and he did tell me later. He said, "Okay, yes, I understand. they're definitely not us." I'm like, yeah, I know. It's nothing like us. So we have, first of all, thank you for your comments, Kasoon. If I'm mispronouncing your name, please let me know. He's saying I followed Robin Monroe's tapes and what Out of My Body and met Buddha. Nice. I did try Monroe tapes. They were actually very interesting, I'll be honest. Did you ever try them? Did we talk about, did you try them, Casey? Because you're really into this.
What was it?
The Monroe tapes?
Oh yeah, I have not done the Monroe tapes myself, but I've done.
No, but that's why I'm asking you, because you're really familiar with that kind of exploration. I think you should.
Yeah, I mean,
just to compare with everything else that you know how to do, because it's really interesting. Now, I understand some people say, "Oh, this is some, this is like a beginner's stuff." I'm not so sure. Like, there's something that had happened that it never happened to me with anything else.
Yeah, from what I understand about the Monroe tapes, they're definitely doing it properly. Definitely.
I mean, they're free. You can just find it on YouTube. I can send you the list that I used. It's just like this really not even high level, not even high definition sound. It's just like a thing. I just kind of did whatever was on YouTube just to see if there's anything there. And I did feel interesting things. And you know me, I'm like, it's very difficult to get me on to be able to like experience any of these things. What do you think of your mindset and the thought you produce modifying the changing simulation on the quantum level? I think too much is made out of that. That's what I think. I think you definitely exchanging information with the rest of whatever the environment is and other conscious beings, but you're not changing it in the way that you would change. Like it's not like you're augmenting the structure of it. You might be traveling through world lines. Yes, you can change the content you'll be receiving, but you're not changing the structure, and that would be mayhem. Can we physically hack our simulation the way gamers glitch through environments? I mean, people fall through the cracks sometimes, which isn't a pleasant experience. I wouldn't try it. Pioneering stuff, the knowing, yep, next level. But a great responsibility too, no doubt. Yep. Deep meditation, psychedelics, or sensory deprivation can warp time, space, and stealth. People avoid breaking through reality like hitting a debug mode. Yeah, I think again, I'm a little bit more on the conservative side when it comes to this kind of stuff. These claims are a little bit too hyperbolic for me. yes, you can definitely experience very interesting things, but to say that you know that it warps space and time is definitely overshooting it for me. There needs to be an external verification for claims of this flavor. This weekend, I have a day without plans. I can give it another shot and come back. Awesome. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, for people that like aren't seeing the cut, a lot of times that little cartridge, cart on a round type of pen just doesn't do it.
Interesting. So you're saying that powder is just the way to go?
Well, not necessarily a powder, but it's just you gotta really go hard on that little round pen thing.
You gotta go ham, baby.
A lot of it, before you're gonna see that a lot. And the coil gets too hot, but you gotta pretty much do about 20.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, at least.
So maybe that is the answer. But I feel like sometimes people just need to try it a little bit more. That's all. I think all experiences are just for collecting data. Maybe, but while you're experiencing, it's pretty good. What's up, Drasco? We're talking about a simulation. Surprising, I know. If this is a simulation, why the fuck am I so poor? Who would want to simulate a life that sucks? No one. So you can change it. It's a lot more malleable than you think. But also, I see the comment here. It says that simulation is not doesn't mean that there's predetermined outcomes. True. It's completely open-ended. So you're still playing the game. Ebony's saying, did you feel fully body vibrations and the pulsating in your brain, like the central area? Not that strong, because I'm reminding you I'm spiritually retarded. But like definitely there was some, some like whoa kind of thing. Yes, but not as strong as people report. But still definitely stronger than anything else I've ever experienced.
Oh, by the way, I met a woman who I've known for a while, but brought up the thing about you not being able to visualize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she has the same thing. Wow, interesting. 2 people now.
But I realized how to explain what I'm trying to say. I can visualize pure relationships, but I'm having a much harder time to imagine physical objects. So now it's not that I completely can't, but if I ask people who are really good at it, like my wife, that it doesn't sound at all like the same thing. Like it's like a. I know that some people, I think Yasha Bach said, like he can't at all. Like he can't imagine. I think he said he doesn't even dream. That is.
This woman, she said what you just said a second ago about being able to see pure relationships between things. Yeah, she said those exact words. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so maybe there's the attention is on that. Non-duality, that's when you stop asking if you're in the simulation and realize you are the simulation, running and observing at the same time. No. I've experienced non-dual states. I'm a long-time meditator. These states don't tell you anything about the nature of reality. That will be my statement. When you're talking about the behind the scenes of what actually happens, the thing still operates on some kind of a substrate. That substrate is the nature of what the world really is. So you can say that ultimately all that propagates through it and what it really is at bottom is mind, but that doesn't get you out of the problem of explaining how the laws of physics arise as a regularity within the mind space. That question still needs to be answered. Saying non-dual means that everything is just you. That's not actually helping you doing anything. It's kind of like saying nothing, really. It's ultimately, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you want to say, I'm interested in my connection with my ultimate divine nature, that's a different project than trying to understand what the world is doing and how we can interact with it. So I agree that ultimately, if the project is trying to just achieve transcendence, then yeah, the questions about the technicalities of things might not be relevant, but they're not relevant. They're just not relevant to you because you're doing something else. The conflation happens is when people start thinking, they're saying, oh, the second you realize you're everything, you don't even care about the thing. Well, no, I've had experiences of like full opening and all that stuff, but I still care. So that's not true. So it's just some people just stop caring about the question, and they think that means there is no caring anymore. There's no caring for them, but it's not true that these questions don't make sense. The technicalities of it still needs to be addressed. And by the way, even people like Andres Gomez, who's is like super into meditation and like super like this like happy, always smiling. He in one of his talks, this is the one point that is pretty adamant about, which is like this idea, and he's no stranger to these states, right? But and he's probably one of the world's biggest experts in phenomenology in these states, both meditative states and psychedelic states. And his position is very similar, which is that this idea that somehow the dissolution of the self implies that you understand the ultimate nature of reality. The most generous thing you can say about it is just that it's lazy. I mean, of course not. That's why would you think that, And by the way, I think you're new to the channel, relative Kasun. Just so you know, that this strident tone that I take, this is not an attack of any kind. It's just kind of like I'm just kind of riffing on objective things. This is by no means to disparage or discourage you from making more comments. It's just like there's certain lines where I feel like it, for me, is just a no. It's just incorrect. It's like no, you don't know that. It's like yes, you can say I'm experiencing it. In non-dual states, they have levels, as I'm sure you know. It sounds like you understand. So there's the state where there's just the self dissolves and there's just the room. Okay, that's non-dual. But you're talking about more transcendent states where you kind of start understanding your connection with everything. So I'm claiming there's states beyond that too. And when you start seeing the thing keep expanding, you realize, yes, ultimately there's this ultimate connection, but there's many, many, many different portions of this reality in which there are others. There's not just you, the unified you. The unified us can meet other unified others. It's not just in our universe. We can say, yeah, and that kind of like it's just the totality of everything that we are. But there's others, and then beyond then there's others, and more others, and more others, and then and then ultimately kind of combines to this ultimate thing. But I don't think that's what people are referring to when they're saying their higher self or something like this. Benevolent Sky saying, in the book called The Sophia of Jesus Christ, Jesus reveals we are living in a simulation. Well, thank you for letting me know. That's awesome. Sophia of Jesus Christ. It's an interesting book. Interesting. Maybe this is this is when we're going to be talking about Terrence. I'm definitely going to pull some conversations that he kind of goes a little bit deeper into the story of Sophia and things like this. That'll be fun. Nested oscillations, morphic resonance of the collective. Yeah. The short answer is yes. I would say yes. 2,000-year-old book. Wow. I mean, yeah, the idea is not new. That's of course. But first of all, thank you for letting me know. But yeah, the idea I wouldn't say is new. I doubt he uses the word simulation, does he? Dawn is saying, I dream 3D in color and test my reality. Oh, test my reality in my dream. That is interesting when people experience things so vividly in dreams. That is so foreign to me. I mean, I'm seeing content in my dreams, but it's rarely that realistic. Malleable reality, yep. Can I elaborate on insectoids evidence? I'm not talking about evidence, but some people meet them. And when you meet them, one thing is crystal clear. They ain't you. They ain't you.
Yeah, what was Andres was saying during the molecule and stuff like that. It's not for everyone, and it's akin to like being an extreme sports type of thing.
What do you mean?
Well, he was saying like doing the molecule and stuff is for everyone. You know, it's just not for grandma, baby, not for some teachers. It's more along the lines of people that are into extreme sports of that nature.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I can't say any of this because he never spoke about it publicly, so I don't know if he wants this out there. But maybe one day he will. Maybe when I'll have a conversation with him publicly, then maybe I'll ask him if it's okay to ask him about it. But he told me some interesting things about some experiences that he had that are very much aligned with kind of like, you know, some of my ideas about the whole thing. It's just that I think he is a lot more reserved in terms of how certain he wants to be, either personally or publicly. But there's definitely some very encouraging things there in terms of, you know, alignments.
I'm like a broken record, but wait till you watch this video.
Well, I know. I spoke to Andres many times. I know he's amazing, and I love his talk, so I can't wait.
Him and Michael Levin.
Man, it's amazing.
They nail it. They're going to what the realm that I've been working on. You know?
Amazing.
Amazing.
I have to, because nightmares as a child, I taught myself how to pause and test my dream. I mean, that's fascinating, truly. That is fascinating. Dreams and reality, for me, have a very thin line between them. That is so wild to me. Like, it's so clear to me that something is a dream or something is reality, and then something is like hyperspace. It's like such a strong dividing line. There's not even a little bit of resemblance between them.
Yeah.
I don't even know how people can confuse them ever, but I get it. Like people have sometimes, I guess, way more vivid dreams than mine. I can't be anything else. I met insectoids praying mantis. See, even the mantis is praying. Praise the Lord, baby. I'm lucky I can visualize very well. You are lucky. Couldn't they be changing how they look regarding the insectoids? Perhaps they choose to look at something you are familiar with. I would think that they would choose something a little bit that we're more comfortable with than insectoids. No, that seems to be their actual form. Why that is, I'm not sure, but my best guess is that, you know, the whole idea of form creates function. So maybe the insectoid form is universally the best form for a hive mind. And because they are the weavers of physical reality, you definitely want a hive mind kind of species to be able to be catering to the intricacies and error correction of physical reality. Because you can't allow for too many mistakes there. But no, that's their shape. In fact, if anything, they would be masquerading as people. Why would they be masquerading as something that bothers people as much as insectoids? Feel need to come with reality after coming out of the dream. Christopher was saying, I don't know if I totally buy into the molecule laser experiment yet. I'm fully on board and convinced, but I appreciate how rational and sensible he is about this, and impressive with articulation and general knowledge of scientific candor and rigor. I mean, it sounds like I created a bot to just give me like really nice compliments. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate the kind words. Well, Jesus was a mushroom. What if what if a lightning strikes you right when you said that? I mean, that would be awful, but also Jesus is like, bleh. Drasco told him, yeah. I'll talk about it another day, brother. I think we're gonna be adjourning in a moment. But yeah, the powerful entity, that's a fun story. Against all authority, I'm with you, brother. I'm not, believe me, if there's anybody here that has a problem with authority, that will be me. That's not what it is. Yeah, and but if you have to be, you have to acknowledge what you see. You can't be, delusional about it. If you've never encountered it, I get it, but believe me, these things are real. No, it serves me well, Christopher. Reading it makes me look good, so why not? I think sometimes when they take human form, yeah, they're not form shifters. It seems to be shapeshifters. Wait, whatever happened 25 years ago must be somewhat important. That's a good way of putting it. I don't even understand. I appreciate you, brother. No, the thank you is genuine. I don't mean it. I don't mean it to sound like I'm being what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't mean it tongue in cheek. I meant like thank you. That it's always nice to get a compliment sometimes. I gotta run. Okay, see you, Drasco. What is zero, Yoni? What is that? Anesthesiologists get mad when giving Meg K dose and focus myself back. Wait, what? I think I missed a lot. Oh, you said a lot of things. Okay, hold on. I like to think that reality is very local and very physical. How it affects me and I affect it are relative, but it depends on my environment too. Sure. I mean, we traveled in a roundabout and ended exactly where we were, but I agree. All reality, but maybe realms. I have learned how to bring myself out of Mega IV Cat 2 and can focus. Jesus would giggle at mushroom joke too. Of course you would. Let's see. Okay. So wait. So you can. Are you saying you can cancel out anesthesia just by willing it? Does a reality render when as we go through it? As observers go through it, yeah, I would say yes. See you, Drasco. I don't even know what that means, Ali. That's the weirdest. Remember me one night stand. I don't. Okay. All right, guys. I think I will adjourn for today. Casey, love you, brother. If you guys want to follow Casey, he's the man. He's doing experiments real time while we're doing live sometimes. CAW underscore AHA. CAW, thank you so much for the icon. CAW underscore AHA on TikTok. We appreciate and love you, brother. If you guys want to follow me across platforms, it'll be Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram. It'll be Goller. Oh, before you guys go, one thing I did forget to mention. So there's this guy that we met in Mexico. I spent some time with him, so I know that he's legit. He was a professor in America, and he kind of went through this like big transformation, and now he basically just kind of lives off of basically almost nothing, and he just writes. He wrote a couple of books. His name is Casey, and I understand the state of mind where he just kind of he can't, like, he can only focus on the thing. It's almost like he's going to some kind of an awakening. So what I want to do, I've been kind of helping him out a little bit here and there, just so he can afford food and things like this. So what I want to do is I want to utilize some of the, because we did say that we want to help out the homeless to the most extent. He's not homeless, but he's definitely living off of almost nothing. He's a lovely dude. He's just kind of focusing on his writing and just kind of riding the wave, man. So what I want to do is that in the next lives, now that I remember, I wanted to say it before, what I want to do is encourage people who can, and only if this is like not a big deal for people, if people can donate like $1, and all we need is 5 in every live, like $5, and I will match those 5. So we'll do 5 from the live. You guys can contribute like $1 each or something, and I'll match another 5. So we'll make sure that he has at least $10 a day to at least have like some food, because he doesn't need much. But I think that's a good use of our attention and platform. So you guys can either donate it in the chat on YouTube, and it's guarantee that all of these dollars will go towards Casey. And I'll just mention them. Well, I mentioned them either way, but this would definitely add a little bit more. So if you guys want to contribute, I'll remind this every live, and then if you guys want to do that, that would be awesome. We spend a lot more on nonsense all the time, so $1 every few days, people I'm sure can afford, and we will be supporting someone who's lovely, that he can just worry less and at least have enough food in his belly. Thank you so much. Ebony already contributed 10. Thank you so much. It's very generous of you. This will, all the money that raised from these moments that I'm saying this will go directly to Casey. So deeply, deeply appreciate you, Ebony. Thank you so much. That's it. So I'm going to be in the habit of kind of reminding you guys every day. And I would really love to eventually, obviously, we're working on some ways to do more of a mainstream help for the homeless people. But anybody who is of need, and we know for sure that really are, I think it's kind of nice to be able to leverage some of this to kind of help out. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you, Yoni, Jay. Deeply, deeply appreciated. And I'll be sharing with you guys kind of like what Casey's responses and things. Wow, this is amazing. This, by the way, just so you guys know, this will, because all of this will go to him, right? So I'm sure he'll be able to like live just a little bit better, because he's literally living off of almost nothing. It's true that he chooses to do that. That is also true. He is, after all, an educated man and everything. But I get it. He can't bring himself to do it currently. He's just in a place. He's in a place. That's how it is, and that's okay. Some of us are very, very fortunate to live a pretty even keel life. So I want to leverage the platform and to try and help first someone like Casey that I personally met and spent some time with, but ultimately we will create some kind of an aggregation that can potentially also even remedy the problem ultimately. So I really, really appreciate the contribution, guys. Thank you, Ciela. Thank you. Appreciate you. You guys are amazing. And I'm actually going to count it now, and just because this only kind of goes in later, at like once a month, but I'll just count what was donated in the chat today, and I'll just send it directly to Casey today. And I'll be sharing with you guys his responses, because I think it does feel good to know that somebody really appreciates. So far we have $5, $7, $9, $19. Amazing. And I'm going to send them even more. Okay, amazing. So I think we did a really good thing today. I appreciate you guys. Ebony, you're amazing. I do want to acknowledge again, Casey, love you, brother. I want to acknowledge our moderators, that without which there's no way that I can function in such a coherent way. Ebony, love you. Thank you so much. Chris, he's not with us today, but I really appreciate you. Guru, you're the man. Thank you so much. And Jessica, we love you very much. And thank you for all the people who are coming on a regular basis and contributing and being a part of this community. Old and new, we really, really appreciate you. It's lovely to have this community what it is. My Brighton, thank you so much. White 24, deeply, deeply appreciated. Love you guys. And Casey will see the money today. I'm sure it will make him very happy and very supported. Thank you, guys. That's it. Thank you, Kadam. Oh, there we go. We have 5 from Guru. Appreciate you guys. There's 29. Wow, amazing. Yeah, I mean, this way will maybe you can even afford like yoga classes and stuff. But it's, yeah, and I will find a way to streamline this thing in a way that we can actually help more people. And I'll be sharing constantly about exactly how we're doing that. We are working on that thing that Buddha was talking about. I don't want to say too many things about it, because if it does work, this might destabilize a lot of things, and we don't want to take ownership of that, because that will actually put us at a bit of a risk, to be quite honest. We actually want to make something happen that can just help people, and that's it. And if we can do that, we don't want to trigger the wrong attention. So we're not going to own that thing. We're just going to make sure that people get it. But I really appreciate everybody who are part of this journey and believes in the journey and what we're doing. It feels very fulfilling, feels very loving, and it feels exactly where we need to be. I love you all, guys. Have a good night. How does it work? Like this? How does it capture the heart? Why does it only do the heart sometimes? Come on, man. All right. In any case, love you guys. Peace and love. See you tomorrow. Ciao. Have a good night.